my name is Natasha, and this is the Liminal World Project. As the word liminal is saying, I was going through a little kind of transition lately, so I haven't made a video for quite some time. But today I'm happy to go back or to come back to my project with a dear new guest. Please welcome Anna Doxastaki. Anna is joining us tonight from Greece, and she lives on the largest island of Greece, which is Crete. And that's very interesting because tonight we will talk from two different islands. I will be meeting her from Vancouver Island, which is surrounded with Pacific Ocean, and she's somewhere in Mediterranean Sea or in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So I hope we will, or everybody will enjoy in the conversation from these two remote islands, which belong to the same world. And I hopefully will meet at the same page at the same time. Anna, I want to thank you for in accepting my invitation. Thank you for coming to the Liminal World. Welcome.
Hello, Natasha. Thank you so much for inviting me to have a lovely discussion for your wonderful project. I feel very pleased and honored to participate in this project. And I thought today that it's a great pleasure to be able to speak, through technology to people who are miles and miles and miles away, but very, very close to our mentality and our hearts, I think. So thank you for having me.
I would love to learn more about you, especially about your place of birth, which is island Crete, and something about your relationship to your culture and the environment you grew up in.
Okay, so as you've mentioned before, Crete is the biggest island of Greece, and practically, Natasha, it has everything. So you can find here fish and meat and vegetables and the best olive oil of the whole world. It has a lot of different colors, like the deep blue of the sea and the wonderful reddish colors of the sunset. And a very special green of the olive trees. It's an island full of olive trees. And I would describe Crete as the place that awakens the senses. There's a lot of smell. You can smell the herbs, the fresh mint and the oregano, and different herbs that the names of which I don't know how to say in English, but you can drink different types of tea, mountain tea, which I guess explains why so many people come to visit Crete, especially during the summertime.
Yeah, I'm intrigued now when you are talking. You're the best commercial for the Crete. Everybody will now book their tickets. Yeah, because I can really imagine it's a very interesting spot. You're in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. Greece is one side, another continent on the other. There is a lot of influence from all parts of the world. There is a lot of history, a lot of tradition, plus, as you say, colors, and then taste, smells. You chose a very interesting place to be born in.
Oh, that's interesting that you're saying that, because I often thought myself as a lucky person to be born in this very special place of the world. I mean, every place in the world has the unique elements of beauty. But Crete is definitely very special in my heart. There's a lot of great artists come from this island, and a lot of music has a very central role in this culture, songs and poems and literature. There's a special type of poems which we call mandinades, and these are improvised poems that rhyme, and they're very short, and they describe people's feelings, sorrow, joy, mostly love and romance, and desire. And I used to hear about mandinades and the people who were creating them since I was a little girl. And I always thought that it's a great gift to be able to share your emotions in a creative way and allowing other people to understand how you feel and relate to that.
So can I ask you, for example, if I come to Crete for a vacation or to visit you, and if I want someone to make a mantinades for me, can I get one? Or do I need to evoke some emotions in some Greek guy or whatever?
So if you ever happen to be around someone who will know how to create the mantinada, he will most probably be inspired by your personality or your beauty, and he will probably say something that will praise your eyes. You have beautiful eyes, your smile. So it's a great way to compliment women or to be flirty, you know. So I'm sure once you arrive here, you will have many mandinades made for you and inspired by you. And I'm sure you will enjoy that.
Once, when we were preparing this conversation, you mentioned mantinades, and then I went, and Googled them, and I actually found one that I want to share.
Okay.
This is great. Like a humorous one, and it's like a pretty modern, and this is translation to English, so it sounds completely different in your language. It's I will love you as the donkey loves its fan, the cat its kittens, and the cock his hen. I'll be a hacker of the heart. Your hard drive I will crack and keep you on a CD-ROM so I can play you back. You be the internet, my baby, and I'll be your web page. When you turn on your PC, I'll become your homepage. I was this is like one modern mantinades, and I really enjoyed. Do they use any instrument when they approach you with this type of?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. They use the lira, which is some. How can I describe this? It's some sort of violin. It looks like a violin, but it's not played up here, but rather in front of the chest somehow. And so it's the traditional Cretan instrument. And so basically they sing them most of the times.
What was like to grow up in Crete, on island?
It was interesting. It was I would say easy to give me carefree childhood. To be able to play outside, to go to the countryside, to swim a lot, to be able to enjoy simple pleasures like good food, and staying out really late. which is something it doesn't really happen in big cities, or didn't happen. So it was great up until I was 18. But then, you know, then there was the need to explore the world further. So the sea gave me the chance to always remind myself I can travel through it and meet other places. And then the sea will bring me back, as it happened.
Nice, nice. I love the picture. I love the picture. You know, sometimes people say that you are closed off from the rest of the world when you live on an island. But as for myself, I'm not an islander. I don't have those genes. I'm from the continent. But I can say that a lot of transformations and a lot of healing places for me happened on different islands. And sometimes I think that how can I say, it's for me, island is more about safe place. It's you can, as you say, travel, you can go, but there is always people who are coming into your place, and you can also benefit from that. Places are a bit transient, and you collect traits from everybody and everything, but still you remain in one environment which is safe and secure. At least that is my experience of islands, which I really love. I do understand your need to go and meet others, but also that sense that you can always come back, or maybe keep that safe place within you. It's very important. What actually took you outside of Crete? And was it an interest? And where did you go?
So when I left Crete, right after finishing school, I went to Athens, where I studied both sociology and theater. Theater didn't really give the best feelings to my family. This idea, but I have to say it came as no surprise, as they saw the tendency I had from a very early childhood to play different roles, to kind of entertain them by becoming a TV broadcaster, or a role from my favorite TV series. So they somehow knew this was coming, even though they didn't particularly enjoy the idea at the time. So I studied theater in Athens, and I watched a lot of performances there, which was a great pleasure for me, because Crete had no theater. So I was only able to watch performances during summertime when I was a kid. So while studying theater, I would watch 2 or 3 performances per week, because Athens has many theater stages, as well as theater groups. So that was a real pleasure for me. And alongside with, oh yeah.
No, I was like, did you take part in any of live plays there?
I did quite a few times while studying in Athens, but mostly I was interested about watching other people's techniques and trying to find my
expression.
My expression, yes, and the groups that felt right for me to work with. And at some point, again, that didn't seem to be enough. I wanted to further explore the field. So I decided to move to London.
Let's talk more
Yes.
about London.
Oh wow,
Did you
London
study
is.
theater there?
I did actually. I studied. What I studied there was applied theater in educational and social contexts, which was really interesting and very pleasing for me at the same time. I think that was probably the best time of my entire life so far. Not my entire life, of my life so far. So what we did while doing this master's course was to explore the different ways in which the arts, not just theater, but the arts in general, can help people get inspired and express themselves and learn new things and communicate and improve their lives in so many different ways. So there was a lot of play involved, a lot of poetry, role playing, many colors and drawing. It was just wonderful. And I also had the chance there to work in many different settings, like apart from theaters, in schools and houses for the elderly, in museums, in theater organizations, and because London has people from all around the globe, so I had the chance to work with people from many different countries.
I want to hear about that. Can you share? Did you have any project that maybe you worked on, like all of different nations together, and how did it go?
The best experience I had there, working in such a project, was the work that I did in the Oval House Theatre. And that was a project that was called We Are London. So we worked with young people from 14 to 21 years old, mainly immigrants and refugees from all different parts of the world who had recently moved to London. And this project was funded by big organizations. And we were helping them better adjust to the British society by both acknowledging the parts of their culture and at the same time introducing them to the British culture. So it was a lovely combination of cultures. I had the chance to work there with people from, China, Romania, the Philippines, Iran, Iraq, India, and we shared so many different experiences. I remember us all eating together dinner and acknowledging the importance of everyone's presence in that project. And at the end of the year, we had created a performance that was presented in the London South Bank Festival. That's a wonderful arts festival by the river. And the play was actually awarded by the City of London. Yes, so it was brilliant. It was an achievement, mostly about the process. This is my my way of experiencing it, that the achievement was mostly the process of coming together rather than the final product of this coming together.
Yeah, but coming together while learning about the other, appreciating and acknowledging what others are bringing, or at least showing an interest. That's the point.
Yes.
Why did you come back then from London? It seems that you had so much fun and so much progress. There was a lot of progress, professional and personal, as I can you know, I assume. So my guess is, like, my question is, like, how come you decided to go back to Greece?
Well, it is a question that I often ask myself because I have to say I really do miss London and all the opportunities and all the excitement that one can find while living there. However, because, you know, there's nothing ideal. So it's easy to romanticize something once you are past it. But the truth is that there were difficulties there. So, for example, there was a lot of commuting. I had to travel by train for long hours for my work. And that was exhausting for me, you know, coming from an island, knowing very, very small distances and all that. For me, you know, in the beginning, I was enjoying it, but after a certain point, when you have to do this every day. So, for example, I would be in the train on average for 2.5 hours. For me, that was too much. And also, I guess after a certain point, I felt nostalgic about my family and my friends, and I wanted to spend more time with them. Having noticed every time I would come back for holiday once a year, I would notice members of my family were getting older, and I thought, oh my God, how much of their lives have I missed? So at some point, I took the decision to come back.
And you brought new Anna to Crete, to Greece.
I did.
New Anna, new person, like new
I
person.
did. Yeah.
You actually studied drama therapy in London, and drama was something. No?
Actually, drama therapy was in Cambridge. So, because I forgot to mention, you're right, that after having lived in London for a while, I moved to Cambridge for 1 year, and then I was traveling to Cambridge for quite a while until finishing my second master's course. So I studied drama therapy in Cambridge, yes.
And did you find yourself in this profession?
I did. I think the choice of studying drama therapy actually completed my identity as a professional. I thought by completing this
journey,
professional journey,
it's really journey.
I now know the miracle that drama and theater is for human psychology and for personal development. I think it was all that I was looking for in the first place, but I had only found out once I finished this course.
I want to talk with you about drama therapy.
Yeah.
Because although it's not something new, like throughout the 20th century, drama therapy existed, it's pretty unknown. It's pretty unknown, and I practically don't know much about drama therapy. So I want to hear from you, like, what drama therapy is.
Okay, I can talk about for hours and hours about drama therapy. I have to say, even though I always start by saying that drama therapy is something you learn what it is by experiencing it, rather than talking theoretically about it. But if I have to explain to someone who has never heard of the term before, I would invite people to imagine life as a main performance of, you know, the main character. Okay, so if our lives are the performances, then drama therapy is the rehearsal for this performance.
Okay.
So in life, everything happens on the specific moment, but in drama therapy, we can try in different roles or in different ways of being every moment and see how that feels, and kind of experiment on different ways of being. I'm not sure it's very easy for someone to understand unless they actually do it. So I would say it involves a lot of play, many colors, many, a lot of poetry and literature, role playing, analyzing stories and plots, and even cinema. Anything that seems to either be important to us or anything that has drawn our attention.
So it's not, when you say when I say therapy, I usually think about talking. Like it's expression.
Well, there's a lot of talking, I have to say.
There is a lot of, but there is, as you say, there is a lot of play, and you use probably different figurines or different tools.
True. Yeah.
Tools to bring those emotions out, to bring them out.
The structure of the therapy, it goes like that. The session is divided in two different parts. So in the first part, we talk about people's lives, what has happened during the week, the different feelings, the main events, and all that. And in the second part of the session, I invite people to be creative in many different ways. So my suggestions will be either because I want to help them express something, or because I want them to understand something which would be not so easy to explain using words, or because we want to explore something together. So yes, we use a lot of techniques, but also a lot of objects as well, such as these, like small figurines, or even these. I use these with adults as well. They seem to love playing with small toys and objects. Or color pens or plasticine, clay. And
so they are projecting actually their own feelings or their emotions or their stuckness to those figurines, and they're and
it's
then
a very good way you're describing it. It's all about projecting our feelings. It's easier for me to say this girl is sad than saying that I am actually the one who is sad, right? So it really is helpful to use objects, and some points taking distance from the feeling and observing the feeling through these tiny people here.
When you say drama therapy, although I'm intrigued, I want to know, once I hear word drama, I'm withdrawing myself, because when you say drama, I always imagine conflict and tensions and hard emotions or stuckness, and now we have to fight because that's the only way we can connect. So you really changed my mind when you actually made me understand what drama, which is a Greek word, what drama actually means. So I want to share this with the audience, because maybe someone out there needs to hear and change the mind the way I did. Please
Right.
explain.
Okay. So the word drama comes from the Greek word, the verb dro, which means to act upon a situation. So in that sense, drama therapy is very helpful because it reminds people that we can act upon any situation doesn't feel right for us. And we can make certain changes that will allow us to feel more comfortable. And this is the reason I chose to name my my private practice space Art Can Talk Drama Therapy, because it comes from the acronym ACT, which is to act upon.
Yes.
And it's, as I said, it's something that you actually realize experientially. I remember myself being a client of drama therapy, because this is something that you need to do while studying to become a therapist. So as a client, when I was playing with all these tiny objects, I felt that I could take a distance from what's happening and watch and observe that I can make changes with my hands. And if someone is placed here and I don't like that, I can move them, take them somewhere further away so I can feel more comfortable, which sounds very simple, but actually when we are in the experience, we sometimes forget about it and we need to be reminded. And that's how therapy works. We get to observe ourselves in certain situations, and then we were reminded that we can make changes if we want to, if we need to.
Yeah, we can act, which means we can be active, we can be in charge, we can be in control. It's on us to shift, to change, to remove ourselves. We are not victims. That's what I'm hearing.
It's very empowering, isn't it? To be reminded you can act upon the situation. Come on, do something.
What it takes to be a good drama therapist?
Okay. I would say the first and main thing with therapy in general is to be attentive, to be present, to be open, to be here with the other person, to accompany them, and to try to understand them, no matter how difficult that might be. Because, feelings are very personal, but when someone invites you to understand how they feel, this is such a great honor.
Privilege.
Yes, it's a privilege. So you need to understand that and to make space within yourself for other people's feelings. And then, well, if we're talking about drama therapy specifically, then I would say you need to know very well the artistic medium, the theater techniques, drama, the play and what it involves, and the different ways to translate, to understand the hidden meanings or the subtext, as we say in the theater, what's between the lines. You need to be creative to be able to find a plan B or a plan C when needed, because sometimes we have in mind a certain suggestion for in order to help someone express himself, but maybe the plan needs to change because the client might bring something which we do not expect. So we need to find ways to help them express whatever needs to be expressed. And you know, I would say what is really important for a therapist is to feel comfortable with the unknown, with the truth that we can't seem to know everything. We cannot possibly have all the right answers. There might be cases when we don't have the right words to say to the person who is suffering, but we can be together in that. And we can give them the attention that they need and the comfort just by being present. So I would say this is very important too, and it's about knowledge, but also about the instinct of when to speak and when to just remain silent while being present, emotionally, I mean.
There is something that is coming to my mind, and that's because when you're talking now about the drama therapy, that's what teachers are doing. I was a teacher back home, and that's what teachers are doing. They have to be present, they have to be attentive, they have to be creative. They need to know their have knowledge and techniques how to approach kids. They have to have plan A and plan B. But what I love, for example, in Canada, when it comes to teachers, every month they have something they call Professional Day, Pro-D Day, Professional Development Day, which means that day, kids are not in the school, but teachers are meeting among, they have meetings among themselves when they are bringing up the topic they struggle with, whether it's a problem with how to teach something, or problems with kids, how to address some issues, or a parent, and they're helping each other. They're choosing the topic and then helping one another. So what is my actually question to you? When you collect all those stories and when you help all the people, at the end, how do you release that? How do you not help yourself get back to your own shoes, not bring all those, stories, bring along with you? How are you helping yourself? Is there anybody who is supervising you and helping you release?
Absolutely. That's a very, very good point. It is essential for a therapist to have another therapist to whom you talk about all the struggles or the difficult feelings or the unexpected incidents that might have put you in a weird or difficult position in work or even in life, because therapists are also like every other human being. They have their own struggles in life. So supervisor is essential to to make sure that a therapist is in a good place and is able to support other people. So we need to observe ourselves, look after ourselves, and make sure that we feel good in order to help other people feel good.
Art can talk.
Right.
So that was your practice. And I want to hear, when did you start that in Crete and how did it go?
Okay, so I created this private practice space in late November 2019.
Okay.
So then it was Christmas time, and by February, the COVID quarantine happened. So everything had to close. And so you can imagine how disappointing that was for me, because I had so many dreams about inviting a lot of people to this space, which of course I couldn't do. I remember dreaming about a great event with music and dancing for spring of 2020, which of course never happened.
Never happened, yeah.
So that was really disappointing. And I even questioned my choice to start something here at that time. But of course, you can never know what time will bring or life will bring. So then I started working online for quite a while. And then in 2021, we came back, which was such a great relief. I could see new people coming in the space. And now I am enjoying this so much, that the space that I created with so much love is now used by people for their own self-development and healing.
Yeah. Beautiful that you didn't, you said I was questioning, because that was the moment. 2020 was really a moment when a lot of people did what they planned, but they always feared, or always, they were always postponing. Whereas you go different way. You came with a lot of energy, and then you had to, in a sense, withdraw yourself. So thankfully, you didn't question whether you should do that or not. And I'm very intrigued to hear, how did you reach to, how did you find your clients? Because it was hard to advertise a job. Plus, you said nobody knew about your business. It was pretty newish. So how did they find you? How did they find you?
Well, one thing that helped me very much was Facebook. So I never really stopped sharing interesting information about my work, or things that inspired me that I wanted to share with other people, like photographs, drawings, poems. So I was sharing that with analyzing my thoughts on different artistic mediums. And then, once you start working, there's this thing, the word of mouth thing, when one client will talk about their experience with their friends, and then people will get to know about you. Of course, it takes time, but if you stick to it, if you believe in what you're doing, and if you try to remain positive and remember that there is a reason why you chose to do what you do, you will, I very much believe so, be rewarded at some point. You have to be patient.
It's December 2022,
yes.
and how the things are working for you right now. You mentioned that you're planning to rebrand your business.
While trying to see what will happen with COVID and all that, I got many ideas, because the mind keeps thinking, and I also observed how, and remembered from my previous practice, how useful engaging into the arts is for everyone. So I thought, drama and the arts are not only about therapy, but they're also about just self-expression, or helping us feel better in general. And so I thought I should introduce an artful way of living to people. So I'm now in the process of creating my new website of Artful Living, which will have many information, not just about therapy, but also in all the different ways in which the arts can help us have a more fulfilling life. So this is my new project, the project I'm working on at the moment.
Nice, nice. You didn't lose time. You, yeah, you actually, you grew through this process. You know,
didn't we all, Natasha?
Oh,
I mean,
yes, I agree.
In many different ways, we all had to grow through this unexpected, weird experience. But it reminded us that nothing is for granted, and things will at times take an unexpected turn, and we will need again to remind ourselves to be creative even when things change so much.
Yes, I could talk for hours with you.
I feel the same way.
I really enjoyed preparing this video with you, and I always enjoy meeting you and learning from you. So thank you. Thank you for being part of my project, and thank you for sharing your beautiful story.
Natasha, honestly, the pleasure was all mine, and I will be watching closely everything that you do, because you have a very interesting project, and I look forward to watching more of your videos and work.
Yeah, thank you.